Hello, everyone. Welcome to WDBJ7 Plus. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm Michaela Shelton. It is so good to be back. I have been off for a little over a week now. I went down to Florida to celebrate my birthday and had some much needed vacation time, and it was absolutely gorgeous down there. But it's really good to be back. The weather is much different, though, I will say. It's a bit chillier up here, of course, back home here in Virginia. But like I said, it's good to be back. It is also a first alert weather day today, which is crazy to come back to. That's due to, I think, the rain that a lot of our hometowns are going to be seeing today. So, of course, coming up here in the show, we're going to have our chief meteorologist, Justin Pavic, join us to talk a little bit about that and, what we need to be aware of going into today and the rest of the week. But first, we do, of course, as always, want to start with our top local headlines for your Wednesday. And we begin out in Giles County, where 13 train cars derailed in the Glen Lynn area yesterday, according to Norfolk Southern. Now, Norfolk Southern says the derailment happened at 4:12 p.m. No injuries to train crews were reported, and our sister station WVVA out in Bluefield reported that the incident happened around the West Virginia and Virginia state line between Mercer County and Giles County. After further investigation, Mercer County Emergency Management Director Keith Gunno said the derailment occurred in the West Virginia side. He said there was a leak of soybean oil, but nothing hazardous.
Their heavy removal teams are coming to start clearing up the derailment, and West Virginia DEP's on scene, and we'll be going up to the site here directly so the DEP can see that. But obviously everything's went pretty smooth at this point.
And crews say the cleanup will probably continue into Wednesday morning. And a story that we've been following very closely. 1 week after being reinstated as mayor, Martinsville's L.C. Jones is back to leading city council meetings. It comes after nearly a year's worth of scrutiny over city leadership. So Austin Hicks was actually there last night and takes us into that meeting.
Guess who's back? Martinsville's Mayor L.C. Jones. After being suspended from his role in February, Mayor Jones has been fighting a legal battle to return to city council. Last week, he hit a breakthrough when a judge reinstated him, and on Tuesday, he is back for his first meeting since his suspension.
I'm thankful for my family who's been very supportive of me. I'm thankful for, the many citizens across Martinsville who's reached out to me, constituents, even my friends and colleagues around the state.
In his first meeting back, the council would go into closed session to again consider releasing the findings of an internal workforce investigation into the city's operations under former city manager Aretha Farrell Benavides. A session councilman Aaron Rawls says went better than expected.
But the night was fine, all that aside. Mr. Jones excused himself from the portions of closed session that he probably should not have been in, which is great. We didn't have any fireworks tonight, that's great. So, hey, I just want the right thing at the end of the day.
Mayor Jones still faces a legal battle. He's expected to make an appearance in court June 5th. Until then, his focus is on the people of Martinsville.
I'm thankful that, that's something my attorneys can focus on and I can focus on, helping the citizens, answering a lot of these complaints that I've gotten in and diving back into this budget.
The council voted to release the findings of the investigation by July 14th. In Martinsville, Austin Hicks, WDBJ7.
And we also have an update on a story we've been following since last year. The Robin Court Waterline project out in Pittsylvania County is complete. I actually went out there quite a few times and spoke with the people there. Construction began in December of last year after dangerous levels of radium were found in the water in 2019 and 2020, and dangerous levels of lead were found in 2024. Residents in the neighborhood began receiving bottled water and had their water bills paused while the county worked towards a solution. 17 homes were disconnected from a shared well and are now connected to the town of Chatham's water supply, providing a safe and more reliable source of drinking water for them. So good news out there. I hope that will help them a lot. And, hopefully we can maybe we'll get to catch up with them and see how that project is going. And we are, of course, heading into tick season, unfortunately, and more people are learning about a condition linked to tick bites that can change what you eat for life. And for some, it can make eating meat or dairy deadly. It's called alpha-gal syndrome, and our very own Layla Mitchell has that story.
Clinics are seeing a surge in patients with alpha-gal. It's a condition caused by a tick bite that can trigger an allergic reaction to red meat and even dairy. Acupuncturists who have treated dozens of people with alpha-gal through a treatment called SAT say more people are finally connecting the dots.
The phone is absolutely ringing. Yesterday it was nonstop. We had a waiting room full of patients, and I was constant on the phone, people calling in about alpha-gal.
They say awareness is growing, and so are the cases. Many patients come in with unexplained stomach issues, unsure if it's Lyme disease, alpha-gal, or something else. The range of patients spans nearly a lifetime. Their youngest patient, 6 years old, and their oldest is 91.
Ticks don't care how old you are. They don't care what color you are. They don't care. Especially the Lone Star tick. The Lone Star tick is one of the very few ticks that will actually seek you out. It will come to you. It will find a human host.
While clinics say they can manage the demand, appointments are booked weeks out. They stress getting the right treatment is key. That treatment being SAT. It's an acupuncture-based approach using small needles placed in the ear for several weeks. They say most, if not all, patients see improvement, going into remission and being able to reintroduce certain meats and dairy.
I'm still seeing success. Those complicated cases just take a little bit longer.
Right.
And people need to just be reasonable about the fact that, if your body wasn't the pillar of health before you got alpha-gal, it's certainly not going to respond as quickly as somebody else that is higher on the health scale.
As more people spend time outside this season, providers say understanding the risks and the symptoms can make all the difference. In Roanoke, Layla Mitchell, WDBJ7.
Yeah, such a scary thing there. Ticks themselves are super scary, but just the thought of your diet potentially changing forever just due to one little bite is just, I hate that, and I hate ticks, but good to know that there is some form of help out there for us. And so staying on the topic of health, a recent report shows that the quality of air we breathe affects us more than we think. It also finds millions of children are growing up with dangerous air. And so in this Hometown Health, Amir Massenberg has a look at the latest air pollution data and what families can do to try to prevent the effects of it.
In its 27th annual State of the Air report, the American Lung Association finds that more than 152 million Americans are living in areas with unhealthy levels of air pollution.
We've made tremendous progress in cleaning the air over those 27 years, but we still have a long way to go.
The report tracks ground-level ozone, also known as smog, and short and long-term particle pollution, which is a mixture of solid and liquid droplets suspended in the air and includes dust, dirt, soot, and smoke, which can cause asthma attacks, heart attacks, strokes, preterm births, and particle pollution can also cause lung cancer. By 2050, researchers predict there could be an increase of up to 4,300 premature deaths a year in the U.S. due to these pollutants.
Today, nearly half of all children in the United States live in a community impacted by unhealthy levels of ozone or particle pollution, or both.
Since children and teens' lungs are still developing and they tend to spend more time outdoors being active, experts say they're more susceptible to the effects of air pollution exposure. To mitigate that, be aware of local conditions, check daily forecasts for air quality in your area, and take action to reduce exposures where you can.
The other way we can be involved is to use our voice, to really look at ways that we can convey to our local policymakers, whether city council or state legislators, or even to the EPA, that we need more progress on clean air, not less.
The American Lung Association State of the Air report also finds people of color in the United States are more than twice as likely than a white person to live in a community with a failing grade on all three measures of pollution: air pollution, smog, and SOO. And the Hispanic population is more than 3 times as likely as white individuals to live in those heavily polluted areas. For your Hometown Health, I'm Amir Massenberg.
All right, very interesting reporting there, but don't go anywhere. We will be right back after this. We are going to take a look at your First Alert hometown weather forecast with Chief Meteorologist Justin Pavic. He's going to join us to talk about today because it is a First Alert weather day, so a really big deal. Some of our hometowns could see some really strong storms and some, lots of rain. So we do want to take a look at that. We'll be back in just 2 minutes, so don't go anywhere. Well, thanks for staying with us here on WDBJ7 Plus. I'm now joined by our Chief Meteorologist, Justin Pavic. Justin, how are you doing today?
Hey, doing well. Yourself? Welcome back. Good to see you.
Yes, I'm doing good. I'm still trying to get into the rhythm of things, first day back in about over a week. But yeah, the weather is a lot different, as I was saying earlier in the show.
Right.
It's a lot different from that Florida weather that I had. But, it's good to see that we are getting some rain, though.
Yeah, we were just chatting a second ago. Blacksburg, close to 7/10 of an inch of rain. That's the most they've seen in a day's time here. We have to go back a couple of months. So we are getting the rain we need. However, we could also see a few gusty thunderstorms later on today. And that's the reason why we issued that First Alert weather day.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. We definitely want people to be aware of that. Like you said, just want to be aware of the potential for a few storms, you said, is the key word.
Right. Nothing widespread. I know there's been a lot of severe weather over the Plains states. We've seen all the huge hail reports coming out of Texas and Oklahoma and even tornadoes up into Illinois. We're not expecting that here regionally or locally, but I think there could be a few gusty wind reports. Here's First Alert Doppler right now, and everything currently is not severe. We're talking about a soaking rain, and this is the best of both worlds. We need the precipitation. It's not coming down super heavy to where it just runs off, but rather the ground has time to absorb it, and that's definitely what we need to see. Again, as we take a look again here at First Alert to Doppler radar, you can see all those showers working their way on through. Take a look at some of the cameras here as we do have some of the views in and around Roanoke, as well as Blacksburg, Radford, Mountain Lake Lodge. Again, still looking at some of the clouds around right now, but we will see some sunny breaks making a return here as we go throughout the early afternoon. So how have we done so far? Like I said, Hot Springs has done well. Blacksburg, you've done well. Roanoke, right around 1/4 of an inch of rain. Wytheville's done well. So mostly throughout the New River Valley. One more check here on the radar. We'll actually kind of dissect it a little bit and dive in. Big batch of green. You see some yellows in there. That's where the rain rates are a little bit higher. Not really looking at any flooding or anything like that, but there could be some localized ponding where water tends to collect and not drain properly. You could start to see it pool a little bit. And keep in mind, we have not seen a lot of rain recently on our roads, so over time you can start to see some of that oil and residue run off from, again, all the vehicles, so there could be a few slippery spots. You can see the eastern extent of the rain now working its way into Bedford County, not yet quite into Lynchburg. I think that changes here toward that noontime hour. New River Valley beginning to see some breaks throughout Pulaski, back toward Wytheville and Bluefield. But like I said, these areas have already cashed in on some healthy rain amounts. Here's First Alert Future View, and again, first batch of rain working its way through now. Notice as we go through time here, beyond 3 or 4 o'clock, we'll start to see much of the greens work their way out, but you'll start to see a few of those individual thunderstorms. See back into Pocahontas and Greenbrier County, a few of those could slide their way into the Roanoke Valley before we start to see stuff really start to dissipate this evening, and that's when I think there could be a few cases of damaging winds. So severe threats very low here through about 2 o'clock, and then it does go up a little bit from 2 to right around 7 p.m. I think our hail threat today is very low. I think our tornado threat's very low, but there could be a few damaging wind reports. Temperature-wise for today, temperatures are also low right now. Give it a few more hours, a few breaks of sunshine. I think we could climb back close to 70 degrees throughout most locales. And then turning chilly tonight. You know, we haven't seen too many nights down into the 30s and 40s recently, but I think we've got a few of those coming up here, down into the mid-40s around Hot Springs. Thursday will be chilly because you're factoring in the wind as well. It's breezy outside, and highs will be down about 10 degrees from where they should be. That'll put us down the 60s. All right, some exciting times coming up here. Strawberry Festival, one of my faves. Check it out Friday into Saturday. Could see some rain early Saturday. I think it's light. It definitely will keep us cool, but it's not going to be an all-day rain event. And by Sunday, we're back in the sunshine. But I'll tell you what, Sunday morning is going to be chilly, and I am eyeing closely the West Virginia mountains, possibly Highland, Bath County, for the potential of some frost yet again. Sometimes you can see it all the way into Mother's Day. Next week looks bright, beautiful. Check out those numbers on Monday. It's our early call for that hometown home run forecast. And then we'll finish off here with the First Alert Super 7-day forecast. I think we start to warm things up a little bit later on next week. But Michaela, no heat in sight, but there will be some more rain opportunities, which is good. You know, we went weeks and weeks and weeks with only, you know, a couple of showers here and there. Now it looks like we're starting to see some of that rain roughly about every 3 to 4 days. So this will definitely accumulate and, you know, add up over time, which is a good thing.
Right. Yes, absolutely. It's great to see that. You know, I was hoping to come back to some warmer temperatures.
I didn't bring back the heat.
I know it did
That's
not
okay.
come with me, but, you know, yes, it's great to see the rain coming in. And you mentioned the Strawberry Festival actually coming up right after this break.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about a strawberry farm that is open now, and you've got, I think, a couple months to actually go out there and pick your own. And we get to hear how this drought has kind of impacted them a little bit. So awesome. Thank you so much, Justin.
you bet.
And don't go anywhere if you want to see more and hear more about that strawberry farm. Stay with us. Thanks for staying with us here on WDBJ7 Plus. Well, we know spring is here, and with that, we've got to talk about one of our local strawberry farms. It's that time of year again for some fresh, delicious, juicy strawberries, homegrown. Motley Strawberry Farm out in Gretna is now open for you to pick your own. I love it out there. I've been going since I was little, and I went last year to cover it. This year, our very own Nisi Payne went out there to talk to them about how the growing season is going. You know, we've been seeing a lot of drought lately, and so she's going to tell us how they have been dealing with this crazy weather.
Kevin Motley, the owner of Motley Strawberry Farm in Gretna, is tasting the fruit of months of labor. He and his crew put these strawberry plants in the ground in September. 67,000 to be exact, all planted by hand.
I can generally get a big crew together with some friends and guys that work for me, and we generally can put them all in the ground in about a day and a half.
Strawberries need a lot of water, and you'd think with the ongoing drought we're in that it wouldn't be good for the crop, but that's not the case.
Strawberries really do not like rain. They like a lot of water, and they like for us to be able to water under the bottom. So, you know, the drought doesn't faze me as my pond level is a little bit low, but I have plenty of water to get me through. You know, I understand the importance of how much we really need rain for everybody, but the strawberries, I can manage them through this dry weather without any problems.
The drip irrigation system underneath the plastic gives the plants exactly what they need.
I've been dripping them 2 times a day, every day for the last 3 weeks. And in that drip, I also control the fertility. I feed the plants every 3 days with liquid fertilizer to keep them growing and keep them producing.
This crop of strawberries is a variety called Chandler. They're sweeter than what you find in the grocery store, but the shelf life is shorter.
When you buy them, you need to carry them home, wash them up, get them in the refrigerator, freeze them, make your jams within a couple days because they generally will not last in your refrigerator as long as what you buy in the grocery store.
As far as Kevin is concerned, come out to the farm and pick strawberries to your heart's content. He's satisfied with this growing season.
Our crop this year is average to above average, and average is generally pretty good. That's what we shoot for. We can't always have a above average crop, but they look really good. They've got really good taste.
And for a farmer, that's a sweet victory. Motley Strawberry Farm is open for picking Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. and Saturday from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. The farm is closed on Sunday. The farm is located at 240 Steel Road in Gretna. You can check their Facebook page for updates throughout the season. In Gretna, Nisi Payne, WDBJ7.
All right, I love it. Yeah, you definitely cannot beat their strawberries. They're absolutely delicious. I actually already had some. My grandma brought me some that she picked, I think, last week or over the weekend, I think it was, and they are so good. You cannot beat it. Definitely want to go out there and check that out. And speaking of strawberries, the Strawberry Festival is happening at Elmwood Park coming up on Friday and Saturday. This is in downtown Roanoke. It's the community school's 46th annual Strawberry Festival. They have been doing this thing for a long time, and it just grows and grows every year. And it's to fund their community school where kids go to learn, and it's a great initiative there and fundraiser for them to, you know, provide for their school and their event and things like that. And so definitely want to check that out. They have strawberry shortcakes out there, chocolate covered strawberries, and all types of things like that. And so, as always, if you want to check out any of our other, you know, WDBJ7 Plus things, definitely go over to our website, WDBJ7.com. We've got everything you can think of over there, everything we cover. And under the WDBJ7 Plus tab, we also have these shows recorded and our specials. I know we just watched one of Nisi Payne's Grown Here at Home shows, one of her, you know, we talked about Motley Strawberry Farm. That's her grown here at home, but she also has a special that she does for WDBJ7 Plus, along with many other specials. We have a Target 7 special, we've got Hometown Eats, we've got Hometown Health, just all compiled there over on WDBJ7 Plus. So you don't want to miss that exclusive content. Also, stick around here. We've got our noon newscast coming up in about 30 minutes, and they're going to bring you the latest breaking news there. And then at 2 o'clock, we've got our hometown weather forecast show that they do every day at 2 o'clock. And then later on WDBJ 7 Plus at 6:30, we've got our hometown sports huddle. So lots of content here for you on WDBJ 7 Plus. It is so good to be back, and I will see y'all back here tomorrow at 11 a.m. Thank you so much for watching.